Success loves silence, not because it's secretive, but because it needs time and space to grow. Success, like a seed, begins quietly beneath the soil. It doesn't announce itself to the world. It doesn't demand attention or validation. It simply works, steadily, silently, until one day it rises tall and strong for all to see. But here's the problem. So many of us can't resist telling the world what we're doing, what we're planning, and how we're going to get there. Why is that? Maybe it's the need for recognition. Maybe it's the thrill of saying, "Look at me, I'm on my way." But the truth is, the more you talk about your plans, the less energy you have left to actually execute them. It's a strange paradox. Talking too much drains the very momentum you need to succeed. I've seen this again and again, in business and in life. People with great ideas and noble ambitions, ideas that could change their lives, talk themselves out of the very thing they set out to do. How? By telling too many people too soon. They expose their dreams to doubt, criticism, and distraction. And slowly, that fire they once had begins to fade. That's why I believe in keeping your plans close to your chest, not out of secrecy, but out of wisdom. Because real growth happens in silence, action over words, focus over fanfare, results over recognition. At the end of the day, it's not what you say you'll do that matters. It's what you actually accomplish. Every time you share your intentions or goals with others, you release a bit of that energy. You give away a spark that was meant to fuel your actions. And often, that spark is better kept inside, protected, stoked in the quiet of your own mind. When you tell people what you're going to do, you create an illusion of progress. You say, "I'm starting a new business," or "I'm going to lose 20 pounds." And people smile. They applaud. It feels good, doesn't it? That validation gives your brain a small reward, as if you've already succeeded. But you haven't done anything yet. And what happens next? The urgency fades, the fire cools, and the dream, once alive and vivid, begins to die quietly. That's how so many dreams end, in the cradle of good intentions. Now, you might ask, isn't it good to share your goals? Doesn't that keep you accountable? Sometimes, yes, but only with the right people, at the right time. Not everyone who listens will understand. Some will doubt you, some will envy you, and some, even with good intentions, will distract you. That's why you must protect your vision in its early stages, like a gardener shielding young plants from frost. Share your plans only with those who will nurture them, not trample on them. And even then, keep the details to yourself. Let your work speak when it's ready. There's also power in surprise, in doing the unexpected, in letting your results speak for you. Imagine this. You've been working quietly for months, maybe years. No announcements, no previews. And then, one day, you unveil your creation, a finished project, a real success. People will be amazed, because it came from silence, not from noise. Let me tell you a story. There was a man who dreamed of starting his own business. He talked about it constantly, what he'd do, how great it would be, how life would change. But months passed, and nothing happened. The more he talked, the less people believed in him, until he stopped believing in himself. And then there was another man, a farmer from the Midwest. He had a vision too, but instead of talking, he just worked. He studied, learned, and experimented quietly. And when harvest season came, his results shocked everyone. They asked, "How did you do it?" He simply smiled and said, "By working when no one was watching." That's the lesson. The less you talk, the more time you have to act. The less you seek validation, the more confidence you build within. The less you share, the more control you keep over your own story. It's not secrecy, it's strategy. Because when you share too soon, you invite the world's noise, opinions, doubts, envy, distractions, and that noise can crush your focus before your dream even begins. Every time you tell someone your plan, you open a door, and not everyone who walks through it will wish you well. Some will plant seeds of doubt. Others will project their own fears onto you, and even the kindest voices can unintentionally derail your focus. That's why discretion is power. When you move in silence, you protect your energy, your focus, your fire. You create a quiet space, a greenhouse for your dreams, a place where they can grow strong enough to face the world. And here's something crucial. Momentum thrives in silence. When you work quietly, you build rhythm. Each small step fuels the next. Action becomes habit. And before you know it, you've built something real. But if you stop every few minutes to explain yourself, you lose that rhythm. It's like driving a car and stopping every mile to show people where you're going. You lose speed. You lose focus. Let me share another story. A friend of mine once decided to write a book, but he didn't tell anyone. Every day, he wrote 500 words in silence. Months later, he finished. When he finally shared it, people were amazed. Not just at the book, but at the discipline behind it. Now, another friend had the same dream, but instead of writing, he talked. He shared outlines, ideas, and plans, endlessly. And guess what? He never finished, because talking replaces doing. And when you talk too much, you start living in the dream, not working for it. Action breeds confidence. Talking breeds hesitation. When you move in silence, you grow stronger. You trust yourself more. You stop seeking permission to follow your path. Because discretion isn't isolation, it's focus. When you plant a garden, you don't invite everyone to step on the soil. You protect it. You water it. You wait. And when the flowers bloom, that's when you show the world. That's what silence does for your goals. It gives them the strength to stand tall when the time comes. So here's your challenge. Next time you set a goal, don't announce it. Write it down, plan it out, and start quietly. Let your actions speak. Let your results be your proof. Because success doesn't need noise. It doesn't need a stage. It grows quietly, steadily, in the unseen moments. When no one is watching, guard your dreams. Protect your focus, and let your actions do the talking. That is how success is built, and that's the path worth walking.